Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beyond NSU. I'm your host, Chloe Ryan, and today we are joined by Tyra Whitney, a proud graduate from the Mass Communication and Journalism program, where she received her bachelor's degree as well as her master's degree in public relations at NSU. Ms. Whitney is currently working as a news producer with ABC7 Chicago. Hello, Ms. Whitney.
Hi.
So, you're back.
Yes.
You graduated undergrad in 2016, and you got your master's in 2018. Dang.
Yeah.
What encouraged you to get your master's? Like, a lot of people are hesitant. I mean, right now I'm trying to decide if I want to go the grad school route or just go straight into my career. So what made you decide to go to grad school?
What made me decide to go back and get my master's degree was I was looking for something where I could have longevity to my career. I knew my passion was news producing, but I also had this underlying desire to potentially do public relations. So I did an internship in undergrad where I worked in PR and I enjoyed it. So I felt like the best trade-off was to at least go get a master's degree, so that way if I ever decided to change the trajectory of my career, I had another backup option. So that's what made me want to go get a master's degree.
Certainly, especially since public relations is journalism, and they tie in together so well. So why did you attend NSU in the first place?
I knew for a long time I wanted to go to Norfolk State. NSU has a very great mass comm program, a very great TV production program, and I knew I wanted to go to a historically black college because I wanted a different experience than what I had growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood. I wanted to be at an institution where I was going to be nurtured and be around people who looked like me, who had similar experiences, but people that I could also learn from and develop a sense of black pride. So that's what made me want to come to Norfolk State.
Absolutely. And what organizations were you involved?
I was a multimedia editor for the Spartan Echo.
Okay.
I pledged undergraduate for Alpha Phi Omega National Co-ed Service Fraternity. I also worked heavily in the TV studio back in the old Bowser building with Under Latif. That's how I'm where I am today. I mean, NSU is the foundation for my entire career. So I'm always proud to speak proudly of Norfolk State and tell people I'm an alumna of Norfolk State and come back and give back to all of you guys and share my experience and hopefully motivate you guys to figure out what you want to do and find your path and be successful.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that. So you were at the Echo. I'm actually the editor-in-chief right now.
Oh, that's great.
So you were a multimedia journalist. All right, so you knew how to do everything. So what was that like? And did that help you prepare for your career now, would you say?
Absolutely. I think the program overall helped me. Working on the Echo allowed me the opportunity to do a little bit of writing, understanding how to put together a newspaper, and also I got the opportunity to take pictures and develop a creative eye, which I think is so important as journalists. We are often the frame of what people see, and so working in the Echo gave me all the foundation that I needed in addition to the television side to think more editorially now in my job.
Okay, and how did you balance all of this? You were part of the Echo, you pledged, you were doing TV production, and you're a student, you can't forget that, which is the most important part. So how did you balance all of this?
Time management, and for me personally, I knew that I didn't come to Norfolk State to squander away the opportunities that I had. I've always been the type of person to seize opportunities in front of me. So I just personally felt like if I'm going to miss a party, I'm going to miss a party. If I'm not able to do something, it's okay because it's going to pay off in the long run. So I feel like now I'm able to enjoy a work-life balance, but I don't think I would have gotten there had I not put in that work. So definitely time management and just being organized and planning my day out really helped, and just making sure that I'm getting things done as they need to get done and meeting a deadline and putting myself on a personal deadline was something that really truly helped keep me organized because I was not an organized person prior to college.
Yeah, self-accountability is so important, especially while in college. Some people don't realize that parties are forever. There will always be a party. But that essay that's due at 11:59, that won't be around tomorrow. So I really like that you mentioned how, you stayed on the right path and you used those resources that were in front of you, because Norfolk State provides everything.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is just take it.
Mm-hmm. Like, all you have to do is get up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And get out of your own way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So you're working at ABC7 Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get there? What was the journey like?
Oof.
Because that's big.
It
Being
is,
a news
yeah.
producer for ABC7 Chicago, like, girl, you live in my dream. So please tell me, how did you get there?
It wasn't easy. It took a lot of help from people around me. Like I tell people, it's always so important to have a circle and have people that you can lean on to help you get to the next level. So I actually started my career down the street at Wavy. I was a production assistant part-time.
Okay.
Latif again helped me figure out that job and get that job. And so I started there. And while I was there working part-time and in grad school, I learned how to produce news and write on the shows I was working on as a PA. And I was doing that for about a year. And then when I was graduating, I got a job to produce in Richmond. And so I was in Richmond for about 2 years, covered a lot of crazy stories, a lot of stories that actually made national news. And the company I was under was launching a national cable news network out of Chicago.
Okay.
And so I actually wasn't going to apply because I didn't think I was going to get it because it was Chicago.
Yeah.
But I applied anyway and actually got a call back and did an interview and got off the second interview knowing I had the job in the bag.
What a blessing.
And so I got the offer, moved to Chicago, literally in the middle of the pandemic and George Floyd riots.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there, helped launch a national news network. Was there for about almost a year. And then I wanted my career was going in a different way that I wanted it to go into.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just started applying for jobs and reaching out to connections to find out what openings there were available. And I applied at ABC7, and about a month went by, and then I followed up on my application, and the news director called me, and we interviewed for about a month, and then they made me an offer. And so I was very excited because it's rare to go from Richmond to Chicago, and then to be at the #1 legacy station in Chicago is a huge deal in itself. So it's been a complete blessing to be where I am today.
That really is. And you mentioned connections.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get those connections and how do you maintain them?
Get them just by talking to people, introducing yourself to somebody, saying, you're somewhere that I want to be, can I talk to you, sometime when you're free, and just having that conversation and picking their brain and being confident in yourself and letting them know what you want to do and where you are in your career right now, so they have an understanding, and then just maintaining that connection by just sending them an email and just checking back in with them and saying, hey, just wanted to check back in, see if you had time to talk, and just maintaining any other normal relationship that you would, but not just calling them when you need something.
Yeah.
I think that's very important, especially reporters and anchors. Us as journalists, we have so much going on, and we have so many people coming to talk to us that sometimes people don't follow back up with us, or they do and then they kind of fall off. So just being consistent is key in terms of making sure that you're establishing that connection.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what's next for you?
Ooh,
What is next?
a lot.
A lot? So what is your dream? Like, I know you have a lot, but do you have like a plan? Like, it's okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm a news producer now, and then I'm going to move on to this. Then I'm going to do this. And then eventually the big goal is this.
Yeah.
So what's the next step? You don't have to tell me, every single step, but like, what's next?
I think the next step would be a management position. I would love to be an executive producer. I want to be able to train up the next group of producers and reporters and have a stronger voice in a newsroom as a young Black journalist. And my overall goal is to be a VP of news and run a newsroom and look at people like you and like the other people behind these cameras and give you guys a job and help you guys become the next newsroom leaders. That's my goal.
Okay. And what advice would you give to aspiring news producers?
I'll probably give one piece would be to always feel good and whole about what you're doing. If at any point in your career you do not feel good and whole, figure out what's next. And then the other piece of advice I always tell people is to seize opportunities. If you don't think you're qualified for that job, still apply. You never know. If you think that you are overqualified, still apply and advocate for yourself. You know your worth. Add tax to it and back up that worth. We're in a position where there's a need, and I think that a lot of us are meeting that need or going above and beyond, and I think it's important to speak up and advocate for yourself.
I like that. Well, great answers, great answers. And that is all the time we have for today. I would like to thank our guests for joining us, and I would like to thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm your host, Chloe Ryan, and as always, behold the green and gold.